United Way 211 Storm Information Hotline. How may I help you?
May I have your address?
You're located in Evacuation Zone A.
You have a mandatory evacuation in place.
The closest shelter for you is Island Coast High School.
This is Gulf Coast Life. I'm Mike Canary. Thanks for joining us. It's now been 2 days since Hurricane Ian swept through southwest Florida, causing massive and widespread devastation. Search and rescue efforts are still underway in many areas, especially out on Sanibel Island, which has been cut off from the mainland entirely. Today, we're going to talk about some of the ways people can help, especially through financial donations. For starters, we're joined on the phone by Sarah Owen. She's CEO of the Collaboratory in downtown Fort Myers. They're working with the United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades counties to collect donations through the Southwest Florida Emergency Relief Fund. Sarah, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking some time to talk with me today. Give us the basics on this relief fund and how people can get involved.
Well, we see anytime Southwest Florida experiences a disaster, people are ready to step in financially or volunteer-wise to help. So we're always preparing before hurricane season to get a fund set up and hope that we never have to use it. We've got a long partnership going back to Hurricane Charlie with the United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades, and we work together. If you donate to this fund, 100% of it stays right here in Southwest Florida, and it goes right to the front line. So we see our role at Collaboratory, and I know the other community foundations do too, is bringing in those dollars both locally and from all around the world so that we can get them right out to our partner organizations and agencies. And for us, that's what United Way does. They've got their eyes and ears. They know where that money needs to go immediately for help. And so we partner with them to get that money right to the front lines. We think that's so important. We don't want people to wait for the help.
25,000 calls before the end of October. And it wasn't just our United Way 211 staff. It was people in this room. We needed volunteers to handle all of those calls. And the calls at first, where's my evacuation zone? Like you heard at the beginning of the video. And then it changed, and water was coming in. And we were literally on the phone with people as water was washing away some of our citizens. Then it changed to search and rescue. And during this all, my friend, Sarah Owen, and I were texting, we're gonna need the funds. She was ready. Where are my friends from Collaboratory? I know they're here. Right there, okay. You guys. This storm was so powerful, nobody can do any of this alone. We had to have that partnership. And so far, the fund has raised over $5 million. And so far, we've gotten $1.8 million out in direct assistance to agencies, gift cards, families in need. We've gotten over $2.5 million worth of tangible goods out into our community already. And there's more. We've had flooring come in, drywall, furniture, rooms to go. You saw on their mattresses. We gave away hundreds of mattresses to the school children in our community. And there's more. Right after the storm, I talked to the United Way in Long Island. They experienced Superstorm Sandy. And their CEO shared with me that they had just finished their last home 10 years later. There's a lot of hard work that needs to be done in our community. And we are all up for it together. Over 15,000 volunteer hours have been tracked by United Way so far. And that's probably just scratching the surface. So many of you came forward even after your own homes were destroyed. We're all bruised and battered. This is going to be hard to get through. And I keep reminding my amazing staff, who has just been so dedicated through all of this, that they cannot do it alone. And everybody says category 4. Can we all just agree it was a category 5? I mean, come on, right? It was a catastrophic storm, unlike anything we'd ever seen. And so I tell my staff, it's one person at a time. It's one family at a time. It's one community at a time. And step by step, day by day, week by week, our community will recover. Going back to those calls on the storm hotline, they started to change. We started to get calls about domestic violence. We even got a call about rape. And it was in that very moment that we all said, the problems that were here before do not go away just because a hurricane came through. And that's why the regular United Way campaign is so important. We still need to deal with all of those problems. So they have to coexist. We have to move on. I remember after Hurricane Irma, we were all in a mode to help everyone. And Cliff, I know he's here, my predecessor, said to me, Janine, it's time to switch. You got to flip the switch. You have to start raising money for the regular campaign. And that's what we had to tell our team. The person who is going to be diagnosed with breast cancer next month is still going to be diagnosed with breast cancer, even though Hurricane Ian came through. We're not on pause. And so you being here this morning gives me hope that we're going to reach that $11 million goal and continue to do what we're doing and also help everybody recover from Hurricane Ian. Some of the hardest work we'll ever do.